This is the Hadley Housing Authority Board of Commissioners regular meeting, Tuesday, August 26, 2025 at 11 a.m. and we're in the Golden Court Community Room. So the first item is agenda adoption and changes and topics not reasonably anticipated. We do have a change under number 5, Commissioners' discussion under future meetings. I inadvertently left proposed on October 28th for future meetings, but we already approved that in July, so we need to change proposed to schedule. October 28, 2025 is already a scheduled meeting. And does anyone else have anything that's come around in the past since we posted the agenda?
Nope.
Do you have anything, Sue?
No.
Okay, then let's move on to approval of the minutes of July. That also should read, should say July 29th, 2025.
What should say the 29th?
Approval of the minutes from July 29th of 2025. It just says July 2025, it was July 29th. So can I get a motion, please?
I'll make the motion, we approve July's minutes.
Okay, so see this? You have to read that.
Well, it's suggested.
It's good enough?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
suggested. Yeah, he's fine.
You're fine with what you said, then can I get a second, Sue?
Second.
All right, any discussion?
No discussion.
I have nothing. Sue, do you have any discussion about those minutes from July 29th?
No, I don't.
Okay, they are approved. Oh, we have to vote. Can I get a vote? Okay, I'm yes,
Yes.
Rich is yes.
Yes.
And Sue is yes, okay. Executive Director Report, Financials. Going to give us the warrant reports. Pamela?
Yep. So the warrant report is pages 1 through 2. If anybody has any questions. There's 10 payments of $20,654.81.
Can I get a motion
I'll
to
make-
approve?
I'll make the motion.
Sue, would you like to second?
Second it.
All right, any discussion on this warrant report?
No.
I have nothing.
Nothing.
Then I'll call for the vote.
Yes.
And I'm a yes. And
Yes.
Susie, yes. Moving right along. Treasurer's report.
So no,
Does anybody have any questions? Because this is a non-votable item. I have nothing. Rich, do you have any
Nothing,
questions?
no.
I have no questions.
No questions.
Takes us through the monthly income and expenses. I have nothing. Okay, so moving along, unit vacancy report.
So we still have the 4 vacancies. We do have a, somebody for the, one of the remaining Golden Court apartments. So that, this will change next month. And we have, we had our 2 projects where we have new people living in them. One of them was a transfer, so that's gonna open up that one too, so it's, that one was kind of a wash.
Yeah. And those 2 on Burke Way are just going to take a while because they're going to be renovated.
Yes, they're
Okay.
EOHLC projects.
Yeah. Sue, do you have any other questions?
No, I don't.
I have nothing. Let's see, tenants account receivable.
I just do not have that, I apologize.
Okay, so we didn't have that in July either.
Yep.
So we'll get to that in the end of September.
Yes.
Okay, facilities, the capital report, you have a memo update?
Yep, so there's a memo that was presented for the board, prepared for the board by John Williams, our Director of Facilities. Just kind of giving you an update on where we are.
Well, the first part of it, that work was already done, let's see, so it's not been an updated report. This is the same thing we got in July, so,
Okay, I'll let him know.
okay. And the door replacement is out to bid?
Right, they could have redone it. I'll have to double check with them. I did send them an email saying, can we get an update on what's going on
Okay,
over here?
okey doke. All right, the next is the certificate of payment project number 117095. Looks like all three of these are 117095. You want to tell us what's going on with these?
So these are change orders, well, I'm sorry. There's, I only have one thing. So the first one is the application and certificate for final payment, or payment number 2. It has been approved by RCAT and signed off by Gwen Erstein, which is our architect and our RCAT. So that would be $45,098.55. Isn't there a change order?
There should be, that's all he gave them.
There should be, a change order goes on here.
He only gave me them.
So a change order would go on here, that changes the price. Let me just make sure it's not encompassed in here. And the additional change order was to change the location of the kitchen light over the sink and to change the bathroom mirror. So that is an additional $1,493. And then there is the admin fee to one, collect the admin fee, and to let the Amherst Housing Authority have that for our staff,
For your project management.
for our project management, yeah.
Yeah,
Staffing hours, admin time.
absolutely.
So we need 3 motions. I'd need a motion for this change order, and it is change order number 1.
Okay, so I move to approve the certificate for payment project number 117095, VUI Golden Court 35 and number 37, Cornerstone Building Services LLC for $45,798.55. Can I get a second?
I'll have a.
Rich
give you a second.
seconds. All right, any further discussion?
No.
Now.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. Rich?
Yes.
I'm yes?
Yes.
And Sue is yes, that's 3-0. Okay. Now we're doing the second one. I'll just go ahead and do it.
That's a change order, right?
Change order.
Yeah, I move to approve the change order for project number 117095, VUI Golden Court number 35 and 37 for $1,493.61. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, open for discussion. Any discussion?
No.
Rich?
No.
I have nothing, so I'll call for the vote. Rich?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Sue?
Yes.
Yes. Motion carries 3-0. And the next one is, I move to approve the administrative fee for project number 117095, VUI Golden Court number 35 and 37 for $6,561. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, open for discussion. Oh, go
Can I
ahead.
have the amendment to be paid to the Amherst Housing Authority?
To be paid, okay, so I'll amend my motion to be paid by the Amherst
To the,
to the Amherst Housing Authority.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pamela. Rich, can I get a
I'll
second on
second it.
that? On that amendment to the motion? Okay, so call for discussion. Any discussion, Rich?
No.
I have nothing, Sue?
Just a little bit more information about this particular $6,000 going to Amherst Housing. Where does
That's,
it go and, you know?
that's the administrative fee.
Right.
For every capital project.
10%?
Is 10%. And every housing authority
I
has
know
to
we've
do
gone over
this.
that before.
We have. So is there, because we've done this multiple times,
Right.
is there any lingering, what's your problem?
The same as always
she's
is,
asking a question about it, yeah.
I'm
Oh.
questioning not that it exists, the questioning is the fact that I have always said that if it's a project done, the project money that comes into Golden Court, and then Amherst, even if you are a management agent, taking the whole amount, I still feel, you know, that a percentage should stay in Hadley. But that's not, you know.
That's
you're-
not what a project
So-
manager fee
so that's
is.
how
We've
us-
all, I mean, that's just my,
Right.
I mean, I feel that about all big projects,
Yeah.
that it should be shared. But it's not the way it goes. I'm not saying you're not entitled to the 10%. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to me. If the money comes to a person and then after the project's over and there's money left over, I understand that you get the management fee, but I also think that Hadley Housing should get a percentage.
Okay, there is no money left
Right.
over. This is project management fee to the managing agent housing authority who did all the work. And it should go to the Amherst Housing Authority. They're the ones that did the work. We have no employees.
No, I'm not saying they shouldn't be given anything. I didn't say that. I'm sure they are the ones that are doing the work.
They
But
are.
it just, the
and
whole thing just never has made
that
sense.
Hadley
So if
Housing
I-
Authority didn't do any work.
Right.
Yeah, if I can just explain a little bit. So the admin fee, as restated, is
Right.
10% of any project. Under the definitions for capital, the admin fee is it is for the additional work of the employees. And so if you had maintenance staff that were here after hours, which on this project, we actually were here after hours, it helps compensate for overtime pay, so some of that money may go to that.
I understand all that.
But also for, right, but then you're not
Right.
entitled to it because you have no staff. So we're your contractor. As a smaller, we're a medium-sized housing authority. That's how we actually help budget for the director of facilities position that we currently have. And in previous years, it was a modernization coordinator. But so the EOHLC allows this admin fee for administration costs, which there were no additional costs to the Hadley Housing Authority, but there were to the Amherst Housing Authority through overtime.
I understand that, so we've explained it to me before. It's just, I'm just thinking, you know, it just never set right with me as far as,
Right.
it's always seems so, you know, that
Right.
there's always a small percentage that should stay with the housing authority. The money came to it originally.
But
But
it
it's-
doesn't allow that under the
I know,
program.
maybe
You
I
can't do
should
it.
maybe look at how these are written in the beginning. I mean, in other words, whoever.
I can't
Right.
change the regulations of EOHLC.
No, I understand, but-
so
Right.
it's-
Yeah.
So it's not that we're writing it in the budget. You can't take capital money to just
Give to a
have
housing authority.
just to put
Yeah.
into your
You
reserve.
can't.
It doesn't.
No, I
doesn't-
understand.
It
there's a
has to
reason.
be paid the way it is, but if you want it to be done differently, contact your legislature and ask them to put in a bill for that.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to.
Because that,
Right.
we can't do things against regulations.
Right, I understand that.
Okay, and this is regulation. Is there any further discussion?
No?
No.
Rich?
No.
I have nothing. I'll call for the vote. Rich?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
Yes.
Sue? Yes. Okay, carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Policies. We gotta do the work order report. What's wrong with me? So work order report. Does anybody have any questions? Rich?
No, nothing for me.
There was
Normal.
something I was thinking about, but I didn't have paper to write it on. Let's see. Okay. Nope, answered my own question. So does anybody else have any questions about the work order report? No, I have nothing.
Nothing here.
Then let's move along. Okay, so on policies, we'll be discussing the refrigerators. Should Hadley Housing Authority provide refrigerators at Golden Court? This has come up before, but now we're going to discuss it, and if we can reach a conclusion, we'll vote. So I move to approve the Hadley Housing Authority provide refrigerators for all 667 Golden Court tenants. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All right, open for discussion. Rich?
Just
Oh, go
explain
ahead.
it a little more? Mm-hmm. So what the Housing Authority is proposing is that for just the Golden Court residents who now currently have their own refrigerators, that going forward for new tenants, we provide a refrigerator that's appropriate for the unit, the size of the unit. And that for existing tenants, when their refrigerator is no longer working, that the Housing Authority would both remove the refrigerator and dispose of it and put in a new refrigerator at the cost of the Housing Authority. So that's what the Housing Authority is proposing for a change. Currently, it is that every tenant it's their own responsibility.
And that came about because of state law change for landlords.
It's been that way for a long time.
It has, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It came about years and years ago because of a state law change at a time when Hadley Housing Authority really did not have the money to buy refrigerators.
I think they didn't have the money. I don't know if the law ever said that landlords had to provide refrigerators. I don't know.
No, it did.
It did.
So it did. And then the state legislature changed the law that landlords no longer had to provide refrigerators. And at some point, Hadley Housing Authority said, well, we can't afford to buy them anyway, so let's
Right.
just make that.
They definitely, the board voted that they couldn't.
Exactly.
That they shouldn't do it. They had, it's low funds. We do have better funds now. It
Yeah.
is an expense. It's
It is.
absolutely, refrigerators are not what they used to be.
No, so that brings me to the next question is, I will be honest, I'm for this, because that little space for the refrigerator, as the kitchen was designed, only allows, there's like one, maybe two brands on the market that will fit. And the cost of those has gone from, like when I moved in 2017, it was $350 or something. And now it's like $950. So that brings me to, and that's way too much for a housing authority tenant, most of them with low income to find. And you can barely ever find those used. So my next question is do we have the funding to buy these refrigerators?
So it would be from reserves.
From
We do have the
reserves.
reserves, yeah. And we don't anticipate having to buy 20 of them off the bat, or even 10. I mean, we only have 2 open units.
Right.
So then when we get down the road, I think what's going to happen is your refrigerator is going to start having trouble. We're going to take yours out, your refrigerator, and so on. It's going to be one-offs.
Especially since refrigerators these days tend to last 5 to 7 years and then they're
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, years ago, the law was, like you said,
Yeah.
you move into an apartment or a house, well, not a private house, if you
A rent,
rented,
yeah.
and you had a refrigerator. Now, if you moved in here with a refrigerator that was given to tenants, and then they changed it so they were no longer given, they had to go out and get their own. Will this mean that if you originally had one given to you by the housing authority, and then you get your own, when you have your own dies, will you be back with the housing authority giving you?
So
Under this,
anybody, if the housing authority had given you one, it's considered yours, so it would, so it is now your refrigerator, but the proposal would be that, yes, if you approve this, once any tenant in Golden Court, the refrigerator dies, we get you another one.
Right.
I think what you're saying is, you were given, when you moved in, because you've been here a very long time, the housing authority supplied your refrigerator, but it was.
Used refrigerator, right?
They supplied you a refrigerator, but it was still the property of the housing authority. And then when this new policy about not supplying refrigerators, every single tenant could purchase the refrigerator for $50. No, that's how it was, yeah. So when I moved in, I purchased.
$50, really?
Yeah. So I purchased the refrigerator that was in my unit for $50, but it crapped out, so I had to buy a new one anyway.
We have not been requiring. people
No,
to
I've never
purchase.
heard of that, $50.
But we don't leave appliances though either.
No, but since you've been here, you didn't know that. I'm just saying in 2017, when I moved in, I purchased that refrigerator from the housing authority for $50. It became my refrigerator. So there are likely still tenants who have those $50 refrigerators. When they crap out, the housing authority will get them a new one or provide them with one,
Right.
whatever.
And to be clear too, when somebody, and then I think Rich has a question, when somebody moves in, they may have a used refrigerator. It doesn't mean that every new tenant's gonna get a brand new refrigerator. I mean, it's
Right,
just like the
right,
stove.
right,
It's-
right,
yeah.
exactly.
So I think Rich was.
Yeah.
Ask, is this gonna apply to all appliances or just refrigerators?
Well, we do have to supply the stove. That
That's
is the
state law.
So
yeah.
Do you have microwaves in there?
No.
we do not,
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
had, okay, just
Yep.
stoves.
just stoves,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
Could you get in touch with a store like Lowe's or Home Depot and ask, they always have the dent and scratched area of the store where the appliance has never been used, but it might have a ding, just a little ding. Could you put your name in with them and say, I'm a local housing authority down the road, if you ever have any decent ones that you're selling, because they're much cheaper.
So we
If you
do-
look
yeah.
at them, they might have a scratch, but they're not, physically they're
We do
working.
look for local deals, also Cluets and Ludlow and Ware, and they're good. Manny's is also a local one.
But they're expensive,
But
yeah.
we do have a contract, we do have a government contract with GE. So we do absolutely get a lower cost, which is where we get the majority of our stoves. And you talk about the refrigerators being small and having, to be a higher
Right.
cost. Those silly little 21-inch stoves are now $600.
Yeah.
They're just.
They used to be
constant-
150.
Yeah, the costs go up, but,
Yeah.
so it's definitely gonna be a cost to the housing authority. But there seems to be so many problems
Yeah.
with not having them, and that's what, we do provide refrigerators in Amherst to 667 tenants and 705s. And then in Belchertown to 667s,
Yeah.
not to 705s.
Yeah. So their boards never said you have to buy your own. So ours did. So now
Yeah.
we're backtracking and saying it's just not. You got non-elderly disabled people and our elderly trying to wrangle in a refrigerator. You can buy a used refrigerator, but it's not going to fit in the space. That's the problem. They're just not going to fit in the space.
Yeah.
So as long as you think we can afford this, it'll come out of reserves. It'll be, how many vacancies are we averaging a year?
So we've been doing pretty good. The turnover has been pretty low. It's just that we've had long turnovers because of all the projects. But I would average probably 4 or 5
A year.
a year, tops.
So we would then, with that average, we would be buying 5 to 7, say, refrigerators, plus if somebody's refrigerator stopped working, we would also be buying those. So that's going to be $7,000 $5,000 to $7,000 a year for
Potentially.
refrigerators.
Potentially.
Potentially, yeah. So can we do that off of our reserves?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like so frugal, I'm just,
Don't be so frugal for other people.
I know, right? Right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep us well above water. Okay. Are there any other questions or discussion? Rich, or
No.
you ready to, okay, so I'll call for the vote. Rich?
I say yes, okay.
I say yes.
Yes.
Sue? Yes. Then motion carries. We will now be supplying refrigerators, and you'll get us a policy reflecting that
Yep, we'll change the policy and have you sign it, but we will go forward as of today.
as of
That
today.
it's, because it's, you have the board vote, that
Great.
we can do it.
Sounds good. Okay, so the next one is air conditioners. We have discussed this previously. So I will move that the Hadley Housing Authority allow tenants to leave air conditioners in a window and provide insulated, the Hadley Housing will supply the insulated coverings for the air conditioners. Need a second?
I'll second it.
All right, I'll call for discussion. Sue?
How about as far as air conditioners, if not the air conditioner itself should break, but like when they put the wooden board beside it, can they check that every year to make sure it's at least snugly in there? If they're not dealing with the actual air conditioner itself, maybe they can look to see if it's still leaning forward, if it still has a board or the expanders that, just to make sure that it's in safely. So they're not really touching the air conditioner other than looking at its placement.
I think that would be part
Yeah,
of this,
so we could
wouldn't
put
it?
that in the, so what the housing authority is proposing, is that that maintenance installs the air conditioners. They do everything that Sue just said, make sure it's all set. It would be checked periodically, because you don't want the pitch going.
Because I see it once in a while when I'm driving out, that
Yeah.
some people, the pitch isn't here anymore, it's here.
Yeah.
And the board isn't all the way,
Right.
maybe just take a quick walk around.
Right.
In the end of each spring, just make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we found, and this is also gonna cost money, but we found insulated side panels and then an insulated cover to go over. So one, we're going to keep our tenants warm in the winter. But then two, we're not wasting electricity since the housing authority pays for the electricity. And so that would all need to be installed as well.
So it's going to be quite the project, really, for maintenance.
It will be a project, but it's also a project every year to put them in and take them
It
out.
is,
And
yeah.
then for the tenants to store them throughout the winter, because there's limited space in the units, there's limited closet space.
Yes.
And then we get inundated with reasonable accommodations that are really not an accommodation that's really needed, which is additional staff time and paperwork.
Yeah.
And it should just be across the board that we'll leave them in, but insulate at the same time for everybody's advantage.
Right, yeah. Plus, if we're, with our brand-new windows, if we're leaving them in, that we're not going to have a whole bunch of screw holes.
Well, they gave us those brackets. We have special brackets too that, to help protect the windows and the air conditioners.
Yeah,
So it would just be in there, and for the most part, everybody has, about the same size air conditioner.
right.
So it's,
And we
they're
can go
better
up to-
windows, they go, you've
Yeah.
got, so then you could have one and then the other one opened up. and-
Are the tenants gonna have a choice on this? Say,
Yeah, I
like
think-
me, I said, I wanna take it out.
Yes, I think they
You
should.
will have a choice?
Yeah, yeah, because it will definitely be more cost-saving electricity-wise to have them out. But, and if somebody feels they have enough room to safely
Yeah.
store it under maybe a lot of people put them under their kitchen table or in
Their
the back of their
bed or
closet.
something like that.
Yeah, then they can do that, yeah.
They're just so heavy. It's,
Yeah, well, maintenance does do it, again, we started when Amherst took over, we started, or started working for you folks, we
That-
did do that because we
Yeah.
were doing them in Belchertown.
Those-
Yeah.
Those units are smaller than these, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah, they're more of a, smaller
Window
window.
unit.
we
Yeah.
can go
Small
up
window
to a
unit.
from 5,000, which is the lowest BTU you can get, pretty much,
Yeah.
5,000, up to an 8,000 BTU,
Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah.
So an 8,000 is more appropriate for the size of the unit, but most of us have 5,000
Smaller
BTUs
ones.
because they're less than $200, right?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Well, you could still get them for
Yeah.
less than $200, but,
Yeah.
Now, if a tenant's air conditioner breaks, and say in the middle of July or August, and they have to run out and get another one, of course, they'll pay for it themselves. Will the maintenance help the person put it in them? Because eventually all air conditioners that have been running for 2 or 3 years are gonna
they're gonna crap
die.
out.
Yeah.
Well, can we write that into the policy that it is okay to call maintenance to help put it in?
Yes,
It
you
won't be
could-
like coming around to each
Yeah.
apartment, but
Yeah, but they can't pay to get rid of it.
can't
They
pay.
can't get rid of it, yeah, because we
Okay.
don't have the means. We're not trash haulers. We don't
Yeah.
have the means to do that. But that, yes, that would be the, we could do that.
All right, any further discussion?
No, nothing, no.
No?
I just have one more. The kits with the insulated side panels and the covering for the air conditioner, do you have a ballpark about how much those are?
$100.
About $100.
Yeah,
So we're talking
$4,800.
$4,800 out of our reserves.
Yeah.
But that should be pretty close to a one-time purchase, right?
It should, and then I do think that it should be in the policy too, that if somebody breaks their insulation, that they would have to pay, just like any other, if, you know, the housing authority provides shades and blinds, if you break it, you pay for it, if you damage it.
Yeah,
But we don't have little kids, so I doubt they're gonna be broken.
yeah.
These covers that are going to be provided, are they going to be put on by the maintenance also?
Yes.
And can we write into the policy that because we have Indian summer often at the end of the, into October, that they don't do it too quickly? Because we get that hot weather sometimes at the end of the summer, after the cool weather comes and the hot weather comes again.
Up till
So,
October
so we don't
15th
want
is Indian summer,
We want to
yeah.
make sure that our
So they're
covers
actually,
aren't.
yeah, they're really pretty cool that the side, so the whole side, the top and the bottom of, like where all the curtain usually goes, is pretty well insulated and that stays up year round. And then you have like a quilted insulated cover that just slips over.
Oh, it's so you
So
don't have to
you-
tie it like the old fashioned way.
No, it has like a toggle thing
Oh,
too.
okay.
So it would be easy enough for the tenant to remove it, but if they needed to. Because we do have several tenants that actually do need AC during this winter
Yeah.
for reasonable accommodation. So they may put it on or off.
So it's going to be easy. Okay.
Yeah.
Any further questions,
No.
discussion? No? Okay, well, I'll call for the vote. Rich?
Yes,
I'm a yes.
Yes.
Is a yes. Motion carries 3-0. Now, board correspondence update on advertisement for vacant seats by Hadley Housing Authority in town. I'll start off and say the town has not yet advertised. I was told that the town would place an ad. I have not even seen these vacancies on the town website, but that's okay. Lots of boards and committees in Hadley are struggling. It's not just us, struggling to find members. It's just a sign of our times, and we're not the only ones in Hadley. It's a problem all across the state finding people to serve on towns and committees. There's just not enough people with enough free time to do this. But anyway, so the town hasn't advertised yet because what was hitting them was this 2.5 override, and they have been completely focused on getting this budget. Thank you so much. Yeah, could you go ahead and close?
The joys of living in a farming community.
I know, I just love it. Okay, so I am sure I'll get back with Jennifer, the select board's administrator, and I'm going to give it a little bit of time till we get through this next onslaught of town override stuff, because they really are at 6s and 7s. Go ahead.
We mentioned also about maybe putting a little something in the senior guide,
Well, let
in
me
the
get-
newspaper that
Yes,
comes
Sue.
into the
Yes,
senior
of
center.
course, but that's not where we are right now with this. So I'm giving a report on the town's situation.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that you
Yes, let's
mentioned
get to that, yes.
let's get advertised in more than one place.
Yes, we've already discussed that, and that will be done. So then, the Housing Authority was also going to do it, but we too have not done that yet. Do you have an update, Pamela?
I don't, other than all three towns would like it, because as you said, this is a problem across the Commonwealth. It's not
It
just.
is, it's not just us.
I've been on several meetings this past month with Mass Narrow and other housing authorities. And the vast majority of towns do not have 5-member boards. We just don't. So it is a growing concern, but we too are inundated and behind the eight
Yes.
ball and trying to catch up on
Yeah.
certifications and vacancies, and now we're in summer months with vacations, and then unfortunately, we still have illnesses going on
Yeah.
too, on top of lots of legalities, lots of legal work.
Yeah.
Is there an age limit to,
No.
I mean, do you have to be at least 18 to be on a board?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, yeah.
And you have to be like a citizen of the town, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to be at the town too.
that's where the difficulty comes in. Maybe if they allowed other,
It's
abutting towns or
not
something,
regulations, so.
No, I know.
They have to be a Hadley
Hadley
resident. They have
resident.
to have a Hadley primary or whatever domicile. And the other thing is, a Board of Housing is unique among other boards. The only other board I can think of that you have, well, there are several, like zoning, planning, and all of that requires amazing amounts of information that the members have to have in their head. It's a lot of work to go through all those regulations and laws. And housing is similar to that. Like on community preservation, we can lean on each other. None of us know everything, but we've got two completely seasoned members on community preservation who help guide us. And we have a state agency that helps, it's not a state, it's a quasi-state agency that helps towns or community preservation committees deal with the regulations. So housing is quite a bit like that. It does require email. We have to be able to communicate via email and stuff like that. And not everybody can do that, but I'm hoping that as word gets out, most people don't even know that there's vacancies, but as word gets out, the people that would come forward, I would think advertising would help. What can we do as a board to help?
Send me snippets of what you think would be important in an ad.
Okay,
So
I
if
can
you
do
have,
that.
a skill set or something that you enjoy about it, maybe even a clip
stuff
of-
like that, yeah.
Yep,
yeah.
that would be very helpful.
Okay. So we're done with that. So we're down to commissioners' discussion, future meetings. We'll be meeting on September 30th. That's already scheduled at 11 a.m., October 28th at 11 a.m. And again, that should read scheduled instead of proposed. And November 25th, I'm proposing 11 a.m. That is, I had this figured out at one point, but
Can I request that we go down to the line item before we schedule the board meetings
Oh,
to change from
okay.
monthly to quarterly, just in case?
okay, so items for future agenda, we'll wait on that. Okay, so board meetings changed from monthly to quarterly. Now that's a votable item. There's a motion. I move to approve moving the Board of Commissioners meeting schedule from monthly to quarterly. Can I get a second? For purposes of discussion, we have to have a second.
All right, I'll do the second.
Okay, so I'm going to open it up for discussion. Sue?
Okay. I'm sorry, can I explain it for a little bit?
Oh, please, yeah.
So this came too from some of those meetings that I've been on with Mastinaro, and some of those folks are on a legislative or a working group with EOHLC. So there's, again, there's kind of a little bit of rumblings about regionalization. When they're talking regionalization, they are truly talking 6 housing authorities. They're not talking clusters of little housing authorities. But then just how are we going to keep up with this demand? We continue to have smaller housing authorities going the route that our housing authorities did, where we're doing management agreements. We are not unique. We are becoming the norm of what we're doing. It is administratively burdensome to do this and to have all the additional board meetings that are necessary. One of the suggestions was to go to quarterly meetings to approve the necessary items that we have. Most housing authorities have their bylaws that say you're going to have a monthly meeting. Hadley used to have quarterly meetings. When I took over, somebody who is no longer with EOHLC, it was DHCD at the time, said you better get them on monthly meetings, you have to do that. It has been thoroughly researched. There is nothing in the regulations that say we have to. It is
Right.
the bylaw.
Right.
The suggestion is to do a pilot. So for the housing authority to do a pilot so we're not changing our bylaws because we might go back to it for that, but to just do a pilot program for potentially up to a year where we just do a quarterly meeting.
See how it goes.
See how it goes. Does it work better for the housing authority? Does it work better for the commissioners? It's
Right.
less on the commissioners, it's less
On the admin.
on admin. As far as getting paperwork together, there still could be correspondence and, meeting with the treasurer to say, okay, we're going over some bills, or I've got an issue, meeting with the chairperson, answering questions for members. You're not cut out of it, but it's just, there's not a formal meeting. There could be a special meeting depending on a project, but it's really just trying to get down to the nuts and bolts of the business of the housing authority.
To get things like capital contracts, signing off on bids, those might be time limited. That doesn't fit with our nice quarterly financial meetings. So we would need to have special meetings anyway for those.
Right, yeah, right. So if it's, exactly. Yeah.
Getting back to the regionalizing housing authorities, do you think it'll be something you'll be given a big notice about? And you don't think like it'll, all of a sudden, it's going to become regionalized? Do you think that it'll be like in 1 year, we will become 6 housing, there'll be 6 across Massachusetts? And
So I have a long-range goal, if it's considered long, maybe not to some people, of 8 to 10 years. I don't think it's going to happen in because this has been kicked around
For
since
years,
Deval
right.
Patrick.
we've heard that, right?
Where everybody's kind of nervous about the funding from the federal government and from the state government, so that's kind of playing into it. But I don't see it happening anytime in the future. But at the same time, we're trying to get the housing authorities that are working in management agreements really strong and efficient, so that if we do need to help out another smaller housing authority, that we're able to.
Sure.
But I don't see it happening anytime
Not soon.
soon. No.
They're going to have to, I think what was going on, last year, the year before, the legislator, it did not pass committee to change it from needing, say, the select board to sign off on it for regionalization, and
Right.
some select boards did not want to lose control, but they never had control. That's the thing.
Right.
But, and it got in the way of several groups of housing authorities regionalizing. It was trying to convince the various select boards involved, where the housing authorities were located. They didn't want to give up control. The thing is that we're going to be in a much stronger position if we are in a management agreement with a with more housing authorities. We're just,
Right, you're gonna have more. We, like up in Franklin County, the Franklin County Regional, they've been regional from day one, but they do have management agreement type, agreements. And one of their housing authorities that they had been managing for 30 years finally said, like, we're done. But it was because of the board and the town just, and it's a small housing authority. So they did come under the official regional agreement, as did Hampshire Housing Authority, Hampshire County Housing Authority. They dissolved because of lack of board members, and Northampton Housing Authority took them.
yeah.
So there's other ways to change without having
Right.
that big looming bill,
Regionalization, yeah.
that Deval Patrick had envisioned. So
That was quite a long time ago.
yeah.
So that's why you're saying regionalization, it might be 8 to 10 years before the legislation makes it easier for housing authorities to regionalize. And until then, maybe the best plan are these management agreements to add more and more housing authorities to make at least that group of housing authorities much stronger.
Yeah, so to be clear though, except that I'm not saying it might take them 8 to 10 years. I don't think it's gonna happen
Yeah.
in 8 to 10 years. I mean, I was hired, I've said it before, when Deval Patrick was governor, and I got my contract signed by EOHLC along with a letter saying, we can fire you because of regionalization, because it was on the table.
Yeah,
So it was like a contract but not a contract.
Yeah.
You're hired, but not kind of really. And that was, that's 13 years ago, so.
that's 13 years ago.
Or 11 years
Right.
ago, so and we haven't gotten any closer.
And we haven't
Really.
gotten any closer to being able to seamlessly, easily move into regionalization.
Right.
So we will get our strength by more, like Amherst taking on more management agreements. That will help us be.
Potentially. But well,
Okay,
not
Pamela
yet.
says just hold on.
No, we're gonna get
Yeah.
our strength by having a really well-oiled machine.
That's
We're
right.
Very organized, very, great commissioners at the housing
Yeah.
authorities that we're at.
So one thing that could attract commissioners is we only have quarterly regular meetings, but we will have special meetings interspersed.
I do think it would attract somebody because it's less of a commitment with still having the oversight. But then it absolutely helps the housing authority with our budgeting
Yeah.
our time
Yeah.
and becoming more efficient.
Well, we came into this meeting with me going, no, we need to have our monthly meetings, but you have, you have helped me come around to see.
And it would just truly be a pilot.
Just
And you
a
would-
pilot.
And you would word that in there, that it's a pilot. We're just testing it to see.
If it
If it
works for
works.
us.
Right.
Right. Rich,
I'll go along with that.
will you
quarterly.
stay on the board?
No,
Darn it, that's what I thought would happen.
I know, I was like, okay, if we go down to quarterly, like maybe we convince Rich to stay. Sue?
If we did this, how much communication can we have with the other commissioners, since we wouldn't be seeing each other on a monthly basis? Where there be that fine line between breaking confident, whatever.
Open meeting law still.
So I think if we needed to, like if I have something I have to talk to somebody about, I see them within a month. But if I wanted to ask a question of my fellow commissioners, how do I know what I'm asking isn't going to be considered conflict of interest? Because I haven't seen them for.
You mean open meeting law.
Open meeting
So
law.
there's a difference between you saying, I wonder how that project's going on Burke Way. And Reese, I really want to talk to you about the air conditioning policy. I think we should change it to X, Y, and Z. And then you calling Rich and saying, Rich, the same thing. That's deliberating. The other one is just an open question of, I wonder how the project's going. Did we, there was an email that came in on the 19th. Did they clear that up about the bid?
Yeah,
That it's a proper bid?
Yeah.
Those are kind of just discussions, you're not deliberating, you're not,
Just questioning.
yeah, you're not going off of an agenda item, or a proposed future agenda item. You know, if you called the board and said, you know, I'm really gunning, it's a terrible example, I really think we need an, in-ground pool next year. I think we should do that, and you're lobbying them, that's deliberate, yeah, that's open meeting law. But
But,
just
yeah.
asking a question is not,
Like you could call me and say, what's going on with, say, 35? You know, when are they gonna get that done, kind of thing.
right, or you could call me.
Yeah, you
And
could
I'll
call
be
Pamela,
answering
and then there's
questions,
no problem whatsoever, because she's not subject to open meeting law.
Right, and I answer your questions
Yeah.
along the
All
way.
right. I had her on silent, I don't know why it's making.
So are we gonna take a vote on that, or is that a?
Yeah, it's votable.
Okay,
You ready for this vote?
I'm ready. God, am I ready?
I think Pam's ready too.
Yeah.
Look at Pam, she's ready. Okay.
Now, when would this be starting?
That's what was my next question before we go to vote.
So,
So if my timing is
from today?
correct, if you did it today, you could get rid of the September meeting, but most certainly have the October meeting because that it would be quarterly. You'd
Yes,
your
we'd have to do our
finances.
quarterlies in October.
All right.
Yeah.
But you could get rid of the September meeting. Unless something comes up with a project.
But then could have a special meeting.
Right.
So we could literally schedule we have to have quarterly.
We have to.
Because we have to do those financials.
Right.
The quarterly financials, the year end, all that kind of stuff. So I would feel good about scheduling our quarterly meetings a year in advance. I think that will help commissioners. It will also help you all with your planning. So basically, our meeting needs to be the last Tuesday of the month, after, you know, our year-end, because we'll have our year-end financials October the 28th, that's already scheduled.
Sometimes that goes into, October, we would have year end, but I wonder about the new budget. I can work with Gary to get it for October.
Okay, so October 28th, and then our next one would be January to catch our quarterly, the last Tuesday in January to catch our quarterly, right? And then January, February, March, and then the last Tuesday in April to catch
Yeah.
that quarterly, May, June, July, and then are we right, the end of August to catch am I
We had
thinking
the
about this?
quarterlies last month, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, because it'd be the end of June, so July, the whatever, would catch
And I
the,
look back at the
Yeah.
minutes too, to make sure that we're getting the right months.
Yeah, we
for
can get it
quarterlies.
together from when,
I was
based
gonna
on.
say, you could schedule the next one and figure it out from there.
Exactly.
well,
You don't have to
except
try to
I'm
figure it
saying
out.
Yeah.
for purposes of board members being able to schedule and admin too. You have meetings you have to go to, conferences you have to go to. So like the June meeting usually bumps up against your national narrow meeting or something. So if we schedule this out, we'll be in good stead for knowing, and then admin can make their plans. That will help admin.
So, Rich was just suggesting though too, that if we could come in October with it, because Pam can go through and look at the previous minutes and get when we had all the quarterlies, and then we'll have it.
Well,
And if I could just keep September on the books for now, just in case something happens with this project at Berkway.
I gotcha, but we
it
can
could be
make
a
that a
special.
special meeting too.
Right.
So it's not important to keep it on the books, it's just,
So what about that door project?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, the door, I'm sorry, I said Burke, I meant the door,
No,
Yeah.
okay,
the
all
door
right.
project.
So we are
Because-
keeping it on the books, okay?
Just for, yeah, and I
Okay.
can communicate with everybody,
Yeah.
what,
yeah,
if it's gonna be regular or special.
yeah, sounds good. But I mean, we already know when the quarterlies come in. It's end of December, end of,
Well, the
End of
quarter
which-
ends at the end of December, but when
but
Gary
we
has
will
it.
do the meetings a month, the next month.
Right,
Right. So it would be a January meeting, April meeting, a July meeting, and an October meeting. Those are our dates. That's when our reports will be in for our regular meeting.
okay. Yeah, we'll get together a schedule.
Yeah.
So you just need a vote.
Okay. Any further questions, Sue?
No more questions?
Rich?
None for me, no.
Can I just make one recommendation you had made the motion as written, and then I would just say to amend the motion to say that you move to approve a one-year pilot.
Okay,
Moving the-
let me amend the motion. So I move to approve the Board of Commissioner meeting schedule from monthly to quarterly as a pilot project for 1 year.
Yeah.
Rich, can I get a second on that?
I'll second that, yes.
All right. Is there any further discussion? Sue? You
No.
okay?
No,
Rich?
nothing, no.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. Rich?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Sue?
Yes.
Yes.
You guys are great and stuff. And then it is not on the agenda, but can I ask a question under Commissioner's discussion?
Of course.
So Seacrest, I have all three of you registered. It's the first, it is September.
7th.
Yeah, 7th through the 10th.
It's,
Um,
I think we leave the morning of the 11th.
No,
Oh, you're right, 10th, that's right.
so 7th through the 10th, you can stay as long, you can stay that full-time or you can go shorter. But I do have hotel and conference registered for all three of you. Can everybody make it, or I
won't
should
be
let
able
them? You sure?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I won't.
I wish the camera could pick up her face.
Okay, so we got one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
because I do
one.
want to let the Naro know so that they can, because there's other people that are on the wait list
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the hotel room. You
Yeah.
sure?
Yeah, positive.
You sure? Salty air might help you. Might give you
won't
a
help
breath.
me.
Okay, next time. All right, so we'll update that. That's it.
Okay, so we do have to go back and get the rest of it. Items for future agenda?
We have
Did you
4 months
learn?
now to think of it.
Okay. Point taken, you're right. Okay, so email or text me any items for future agenda. So the future meetings, I think, let's just say that was covered in our discussion about quarterlies. And, ooh, there's no one here from the public for comment. So can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion, we adjourn.
And I'll second. We are adjourned. Thank you so much.